welcome back to Open Your Eyes. If you've noticed, we've kind of switched gears a little bit, Isani, and joining us for our final segment for today. It's all about the importance of grooming your pet. Joining us in studio, we have the owner of Belmopan Pet Corner, Kevon Smith. Good morning, Kevon. And
Good
your
morning,
special
Kevon.
guest, Miss Bentley, over here.
Bentley will be our model today. And we'll use her to show you guys the importance of grooming and what it entails and, you know, how to properly groom your pet, even at home if you can't take them to the groomer.
All right.
But yes, Bentley is excited.
She has been a whirlwind for the past couple of minutes.
Tell us a bit about Bentley. Let's
Well,
get to know who she
She's
is.
a French bulldog. She's my personal dog. She's very low maintenance, excited at times, but not much. Very healthy.
Yes.
Doesn't require a lot, right?
Oh,
They have a lot of skin issue in this climate, but fairly good other than that.
All right. Let's talk about when you established your business and what was the need that you were trying to fulfill.
Well, the Belmopan Pet Corner has been around for the past maybe 5 years,
Yeah.
but as a shop front for 2 years. We recently celebrated our 2 years anniversary, and I really got more into grooming because a lot of people weren't aware of the importance of grooming and, you know, how important it is to keep your dog clean, especially for people who keep their dogs in the bed. Like, she lives inside, she sleeps on the bed, she goes on the couch and everything, right? So there's a lot of sickness and diseases that a dog can catch that can be transmitted to a human being, such as scabies for once. Like, you know, people catch these stuff and they don't understand how they catch it. But simple thing as not properly grooming your dog can lead to you, you know, contracting that disease from them.
Right.
So it's very important, especially if your dog is an inside-outside dog, to properly groom them, keep them clean. Grooming, when you're grooming, you could learn sicknesses that they're maybe having or, you know, catch it at an earlier stage than wait until it gets too late.
Okay. So how do you see the business in Belmopan? Do people come with outrageous requests for their pets?
We have a lot of people come, and sometimes I have to remind them that I'm not a genie with a wand and I can't give them a show dog from what they bring, because a lot of time people see dogs on the show, like TVs and what's not, and they're like, I want this dog. But it's a maintenance, a routine, keeping up with it monthly, and some people don't understand that. So it's very important to educate my customer as well, right? And clients, to let them know that when you bring your dog, if you bring them monthly, I can give you this poodle look, this, you know, very,
But
you know,
if you bring it once
aesthetically
every 6
pleasing.
months,
Right.
it's a different.
Let's be real about it too, though. Not all dogs are show dogs.
Right,
Most of
right,
what we have
right.
are working dogs, right?
Right,
like
right.
for instance, I'm a dog lover. I have 3 dogs, and the first time I owned a dog, I raised him indoors until he got to 150 pounds, and we had to put him outside.
I'll be a horse.
Right? But the dog is not bred for show.
Right.
It's dealt with, in my case, as a security dog.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Right? So it's an entirely different approach to dealing with the animal per se.
That has a lot to do with the anatomy of these animals, and what a lot of us, especially here in Belize, we don't understand that a lot of dogs are mixed bred. So like the trait of her may be different from the trait of a Chihuahua. So you have to really learn your dog, and for instance, you could have a German Shepherd, but it's mixed with a Husky, and you know, we always have this thing that German Shepherds are so smart, so you know, keen and listening. But the Husky in them, they are high prey dog. They're like, you know, so you might not understand, why is my dog acting like this? Why is he so, you know? But this is because of the Husky in them. And this is why I always tell my customers, it's very important to learn the what all your dog is mixed with. So
It's, the truth is as well too, though, is that it's not very many Belizeans who know and understand and own pedigree dogs, because that's exactly where you're going. Once you're able to understand and trace the lineage of the dog, the bloodline, then you know exactly what you have. Most people just like see the dog
and get the dog.
Yeah, and they don't know the history and the genealogy
And that's
of the
why
animal.
I try to educate my customer, because that, for me, one of the most important thing is whenever a customer or a client walks in, is to educate them on their animals, because they come with, okay, I want this dog to be like this. So this is something that I have to know this dog. Grooming a dog isn't just picking up the dog, putting them in the tub, right?
Right. And I mean, I'm glad you brought that up, because I know Bentley's ready to get started. But so let's begin by putting Bentley up and see the process as we begin.
Some of the most important things when grooming is, taking off all your gears and your equipment off the dog, because
she doesn't just have a collar, she have a whole harness.
Because with her, she pulls a lot when she's walking, and this can mess up her throat, right? So these are better, like,
for walking with your
yes,
dog.
especially overexcited dog. Then you have to sit, baby, wait.
Is
Good
she
girl.
mixed with anything, or is she
she's
full
a purebred.
French?
She's a French bulldog. She was imported from Guatemala, and she comes from a long line of show dogs.
Okay.
So she has her certificate with her parents that are show dogs in Guatemala and in the US as well.
So you made it by a show dog.
Yeah, I when I was getting a dog, I was always I wanted a small dog to travel, of course, but I wanted a more masculine dog. And even though she's a small dog, she's a more masculine looking dog other than a chihuahua.
Oh gosh. Okay.
All right, so
what do
we'll bring her up here. And so when it comes to grooming, a lot of people don't know that short hair dogs need grooming as well, right?
Yeah, because I was saying she looks fine to me.
Right. But using your different tools, you'll notice a lot. You'll notice a lot of fur comes out. But also, when you're grooming a dog, you need to learn how to speak to this dog, because I have dogs that are very, very vicious when coming into the grooming shop, right?
Yeah.
And their owner would be like, oh my gosh, like, I wish you luck, like, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's learning a dog. Sometimes for me, it takes the first maybe 45 minutes before I put the dog on my grooming table, because I want to make sure that I know this dog, what it likes, what it doesn't like. She is very okay because she's groomed so often, right? But
well, I'll tell you this much. Dogs are extremely territorial, right? So that if I use mine as an example, for instance, they wouldn't allow you to come near them, not even to touch them, not easily. Because, like I said, they're bred for security. So
but the thing is,
they have a standoffish thing about them automatically.
The thing is with that is that it's a psychology of the animal. You, the person who's dealing with the animal, needs to know more how to deal with an animal, because I've had a customer from the US embassy. She came with like 6 dogs, and she was like fretting, like, oh my God, how are you going to do this? And she was like, I wish you luck. And I'm like, just leave the dog and come back. Just leave the dogs and come back.
I mean, I wanted to go back to the conversation about the type of breed of dog and how to properly maintain them, because I kind of I had a German Shepherd before. He never liked bait. It was always a problem. No matter what, it's a thing, right? And to get him into a pool of water was an issue. And now I have a Doberman.
Okay.
Rottweiler. Same problem.
These are stuff that you have to tackle from puppy.
Well, okay, but all right, cool. So I tried all tactics from he was a puppy.
Were you consistent?
Well, I tried, yes.
But the thing is,
now
too,
even if I pull up a hose, he runs.
a lot of time they're traumatized. You see what you said, he runs, right? So he's traumatized because a lot of time we are not groomers, we're not professional, and we just go and wet up the dog head. That goes in their nose, in their ears, and that traumatizes them. So you have to know how to properly do it, right?
I did a thing one
Mine
time.
are quite the opposite.
No.
My dogs
but
love water.
Bigger
but
dogs.
in the rain, he's
okay.
fine. He'd run, he'd gallop, and he'd try catch rain in his mouth.
Because remember, he feels free when you tie him down. Okay, I have to do this. The dog is like, oh my gosh, what's happening? And it's like, I don't have control over this.
I think my German Shepherd just made it be and leave Bobo, because he would know when it would be time to bait, and he would have put his whole weight down. So
they know. Like
it's like
a lot of
it's
times.
also conditioning too, though. I mean, when you're dealing with dogs in this case, if you give the dog perhaps an incentive, like
treats,
treats, right?
But some dogs are treat motivated, some are not. She would never eat a treat from me because I've raised her where you don't beg for food, and so, like you said, some dogs are treat motivated, but when you're coming to a groomer, some dogs won't take treat from me because it's like they're in a new environment, they're around new people. Like I just want to get out of here.
Yeah.
So like I said, it's all about learning your animal, taking time to get to know this animal. What can I do and what can I not do? A lot of times people come and please just muzzle the dog. That's the last thing I would do, because
absolutely not.
That
I remember that to clip my dog's toenail once, I had to, because he's an aggressive dog, and he never forgave me. He did not forgive me. He never talked to me for like a whole.
And that's the reason why I use muzzle as a last resort, because when that dog come back, that dog remembers me.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be attacked. It's my health at risk and this dog at risk as well, right?
So, okay, I know Bailey is all around. What
I'm doing here is just de-shedding her. Like I said earlier, a lot of people don't understand the need of de-shedding a dog, but you mentioned earlier that she looks pretty groomed, but look at this.
The fur,
So all of this would be in my house, on my bed, if I'm not doing this, right?
Yeah.
This is something.
How often do you do this for her?
Brushing her, for me, because of work, I slack off a lot. But this is supposed to be done at least once a month, a general grooming. But just brushing her daily, I would say daily.
Okay.
Because it's very important to keep all of this off, because this causes rash and fungus and, you know. Eventually, I think they'll pull up some pictures and videos of different sicknesses that happens in dogs when not properly groomed, right?
Yeah.
So basically, with her low fur dogs, all you have to do is it depends on the texture of the fur.
Okay.
You don't want to just go in with a hard bristle brush and ruin their skin, right? Because it's like your scalp. If you're constantly brushing and brushing, it starts to get irritated and ooze, right?
Yes.
So what I'm going to do after this is just put her in the tub, and then I'll properly wash her. Normally at the shop we have a proper tub for this, right?
Okay.
So we're just using this and compromising for now. But look at the amount of fur that I took off of her in that, you know, sharp process of brushing her.
It's like you almost gave her a haircut. Really.
Right. When it comes to wetting her, if you notice, she's very okay with this, right? Not a lot of dogs are. Because the first thing people would do is go in and wet their head.
Yeah.
The last thing I do is wet their head and their face, because it's like, that send them off the bat immediately. Immediately. It's like, okay, forget it. I don't want this to continue. That is like, if you want a dog to misbehave during grooming, wet their head first.
Oh, Lord.
So
that's interesting, because
the opposite of human beings.
Right.
I'm learning something new. I start by wetting my dog's head. That's what he loves, and then he just
like I said,
what kind of dog you have?
I have 3 different breeds of Mastiff.
Oh, wow.
I have a French Mastiff, a Dog de Bordeaux. I have a Fila, Brazilian Mastiff.
No wonder you said monsters.
I'm into big dogs, right? Yeah, I keep them at like about 100 and some odd pounds each.
For me,
man stoppers.
I like big dogs, but for me, when I was in college, it was like renting apartments and, you know, finding place to live. So I decided I needed a smaller dog, which still looks aggressive.
Yeah.
Because when delivery guys come at the gate, they don't come close, because she takes the gate and she shakes the gate,
know,
right?
it's so funny, because my baby, I call him, he thinks he's a small child.
And she thinks she's a monster.
He is a gazelle. He doesn't run, he leaps.
Hops,
he hops. And he thinks he's tiny, so when he wants to give you a hug and he stands on his hands, he's like this.
In your face.
In your face. And so he's a very friendly dog, but just because of how he looks,
and a lot of people won't get
stay
that.
away. Yes.
What's absolutely hilarious was an experience that I had last week. I was going to my mom's house. On one hand, I have the Cane Corso, on the other hand, I have my 4-year-old son. And people on Mahogany Street
They're like, what the hell?
They stay far. Stay far from you.
That was quite an interesting
So
experience.
when you're grooming them too, there's different kind of shampoos and stuff to learn about your dog as well.
Yeah.
You can't use the same shampoo as me, right?
No,
We're
no,
different,
no.
and it's the same thing with dogs. So what I'm doing is using an aloe vera mint soothing shampoo to help, because she, like I mentioned earlier, she has a lot of skin issue because of the food and her diet and what's not, right? So this helps to keep her from scratching and oozing and stuff like that, right? And when you're bathing them, generally you just want to get in. I like to do it with my nails. I feel like I get a better clean than this. But as a groomer, we're required to use this, right? Because this is why it's required of us. And this gets into their skin underneath and really takes out the dirt. So
what about food, Kevon, in terms of how it affects the fur, how it affects the health of the nature and the sheen of the fur of the
So
dog?
when it comes to food, a lot of times we feel like, okay, get a dog Rufo. Get it out the cheapest chow in the shop, right? But this again, like I said, it goes back to learning your animal because you don't know what will mess up their skin until you're in it. It's like a new parent. I don't know if you get this baby where I give on diarrhea or not, right?
Yeah.
And when it came to her, when I first get she out, I'm like, oh my gosh, this dog are probably dead because her hair made it drop like crazy. And I had to start bringing a chow from the US for she, but it made it start get expensive. So I started to cook for her. Because that works better. She's a much healthier dog.
Yep.
I know what she's getting in her diet, so that's what works best for me.
It's a matter of understanding, like you said, what works for the dog in terms of the diet. Because for a while, I used to give my dogs pedigree and what have you. And I'm saying, but I'm giving them what I thought was the best.
Top shelf.
And the dog not gain weight, no matter how much I exercise and run and don't gain weight. When I change the diet,
Immediately
start to shift.
because like I said,
glow up
it's learning your animal and learning what's good for them and what's not good for them, because we're not the same, we're built differently, and again it's learning where this dog mixed with, what is it, you know, that he requires
like
different food.
For my dog, I don't ever expect him to gain weight. His anatomy is he's a skinny dog.
Right.
But he's a big eater. Like me, like you wanna. So the metabolism is fast. So I can't just give him fatty foods for expecting
Right.
It has to be something for his health.
And
But she looks so mellow watching us how she comes.
she's used to this, and like I said, you have to use it as an enrichment and a treat for them, and really know what you need to do for your dogs. Eventually, again, they'll show some pictures of dogs. I have, like, customer brings in dogs similar to these where inside their face are rattening because they don't understand how to properly care for the dogs, right? So
all the wrinkles in between the wrinkles and what have you.
You have to really get in there and clean it out properly. And when it comes to the wrinkle, this is something that you do. Like, for instance, on the screen, that is a pug, and she's not too far from a pug. She's a French bulldog, but that is something that she can get if not groomed properly, right?
So you have to know the anatomy.
Right, and so getting a dog, it's not just going to the shop and buying a dog, but you have to learn what this dog is and do your homework before.
Yes.
Before I got her, it was like maybe 4 months I did research and everything.
When you're dealing with like French bulldogs and pugs and stuff, those are what we call a brachycephalic breed.
Right.
Where
They're built to be.
And because of the wrinkles and stuff, you really have to get on it.
Wow. Those are nails. Those are nails that come in. Sometimes the nail on the side is growing into the skin, and it's like, that is ridiculous, because when the dogs are walking, it's like tapping on the tile and it's shocking them basically, you know?
It's like your fingernails if you do walk. Wow. Okay, so this is just a standard bath.
Yeah, this is just a basic grooming for her. We do different grooming at the shop with the clippers and what's not, but that would have been a longer show.
So let's talk about the amenities that you offer at your business.
We do full grooming. We do shaving them. They'll show up a couple of videos and what's not. Sorry guys. But we groom. We do full, like, different cuts, poodle cuts, show dog cut, different cuts, right?
Nice.
I went to Merida and I did like a course on learning how to groom, and I'm not a pro, but I know quite a bit, right? And I'm always putting myself out there to learn more. YouTube teach you a lot. You know, the internet is out there, so for people who can't afford it, because it's not something rarely cheap, but it's something you can learn at your home, like, you know. And clippers, you can buy a clipper off of Amazon and stuff like that, to just help you at home keep the dog fur down, right? So again, it's just how you as the owner feel, and you know, you have to respect the dog. It's not just to get a dog and tie it up outside, or you know, it looks good so I won't groom it. Like you said earlier, she looks pretty good, but you know, all of that fur, it's just built up dirt and grime on her.
It's TLC on a daily basis.
It's like taking care of yourself. It's very, very important.
It is.
Definitely.
Okay, so we are pretty much out of time, Kevon. So I know you want to get Bailey completely cleaned and groomed and so forth. So after this, what comes next?
What I'll do after this is blow dry her. I'll blow dry her, and
Okay.
that will help like to dry her off because,
Okay.
especially because she's an inside dog, I don't want
Yeah.
to leave this water on her. That might give her a scent, right?
Right.
So you want to blow dry her and keep her very nice and dry, and also you want to make sure that they're properly dry because this can cause fungus and different,
Yes.
skin irritation. So. That is very, very, very important.
I noticed on the screen it said that you all offer vaccines.
Right. We have a vet. So I'm a vet tech. I graduated from Galen this summer as a vet technician. And when it came to that, me and one of my lecturers teamed up and we decided to run a clinic from the shop. So we have monthly visit where he would come in like 3 times for the month and he would give vaccines. We do spay and neuter, we do secretion of the anal gland, the full works, right? So at the shop, it's not just grooming or pet supplies. We do medication, we give vaccines.
Everything.
We have the next guard pills, the
Okay.
full work.
Yeah.
And that is very important to medicate your dogs, right? So we'll just wait a little bit more because I want to let the shampoo really marinate a little bit in her so that helps to take off a little bit more of the dead fur.
Soak in.
And then we'll take her onto the table where we're going to blow dry her.
Okay, so she has a very sleek fur. I think my dog also has that kind of sleekness.
Flat coat.
Right.
There you go, that's the word. But for the furry ones, I know you use a particular
We have,
this brush, but I don't think then the brush would have worked for
this kind of dog.
Yeah.
So when it comes to like different fluffy dogs, we have the machines that we use. I have my scissors and stuff like that. These are my grooming scissors. But those are very important in grooming your dog, right? So we have all sort of stuff that is used. Like I said, it's just knowing what your dog requires, and that's how you groom your dog properly, right?
All right.
It's okay.
So as we wait for this shampoo to marinate, we're gonna take a very quick break, and we'll be back. Stay with us.